Outside of the breaking news of Bryan Kohberger being discovered to be the leading suspect in the Idaho University student murders, haven't really done any updates on this stuff, okay? An affidavit has been released. The brother's been snatched up and thrown in custody. Now we're just kind of waiting for any sort of development and for this to go to trial in about a year and a half's time, to be completely honest. So now is about as good of a time as ever as doing a nice little recap, because holy, I've been listening to a couple of different breakdowns on this stuff, and it's kind of fucking freaky if we're going to be completely honest, okay? Because, yeah, 4 people got their necks sliced or they got stabbed up. I'm not entirely sure about any of the injuries, but 4 people are dead. But there were 2 more people and a dog inside that house. And one of the girls, Dylan Mortensen, who was, if you've seen that, I know that would be the way that the media would want to represent that, so I won't say that. But one of the more famous pictures that's out there, the one that everybody sees with one of the girls that was on the shoulders of another one of the girls that's out there. There's 2 people in that picture as well, and they've given their descriptions of the night. A Bethany something or other, and then this girl right here, Dylan Mortensen, who actually came face to face with Kohberger in one of the craziest fucking stories I've ever heard recounted. We don't know how Kohberger came. We don't have motive. We actually really don't have all that much. And even the details of how this guy got suspected to be the lead suspect, or at least to get charged with the 1 count of burglary and 4 counts of murder, don't really know all that much about it. So just as a nice little roundup, I thought now is about as good of a time as ever. So, surviving Idaho roommate Dylan Mortensen, seen outside her parents' home for the first time since it was revealed she froze in fear when she spotted the killer. Yeah, when she came in the affidavit face to face with Kohberger, who was completely dressed in black mask, black beanie, black clothing, and all that stuff, walking around the house, okay? There was a shoe print detected with some very sophisticated breaking, cutting-edge technology. Found a shoe print on the floor that was right outside Dylan's bedroom. I think it was Dylan's bedroom, okay, where she alleges she came face-to-face with him. She survived. Holy fuck, man. And the fact that, some paparazzi are out there trying to get pictures of a girl who, came face-to-face with death, I don't know why the fuck you'd be doing that, because that shit would be, that would be triggering. That would definitely be one of those PTSD eliciting type activities. Why would you? Fucking paparazzi are less than human. Amid the torment of losing 3 of her roommates, hey man, and I'm sure the boyfriend was probably a nice guy, University of Idaho student Dylan Mortensen has been spotted for the first time since it was revealed that she saw the killer at the scene. Daily Mail showed 19-year-old sophomore returning to her family's home in Boise after a Sunday morning coffee run. Dressed in shorts and chilly 44. I don't care, man. There she is. And, that's fucking tough. Mortensen. Okay, so Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funke, also 19, both survived the November 13th murders. We don't have to get so fucking flashy with our language here, Daily Mail. Christ almighty. Lost their 3 roommates. Kaylee Goncalves, I think. Okay. Madison Mogen, 21. Both of them, 21. Xana Kernodle, 20. And Xana's boyfriend, Chapin, all murdered in the place, okay? Okay, so, yeah, that looks like it's right outside the house where everything all happened. Kind of a 3-story flop house for college kids. It's like, it's right there in Moscow, Indiana, okay? The place is just off campus and all that stuff. Like, we don't even know how Kohberger allegedly got into the place. Theories posit that he came in through those sliding windows, or those sliding doors that were back there. They were left open. When the police arrived at the scene, every single door was left open, which is, man, something as simple as locking doors could have prevented something from happening. And if he had to bust in, somebody could have been made aware of the situation, because it's not like the 5'10" or 6 foot tall Bryan Kohberger was fucking, packing heat or anything like that. He allegedly had a fucking Bowie knife, okay? Even if it was just the one guy and the 5 other girls that were there, they could have overwhelmed this fucking, there could be 4 more living people right now. Just saying, but fucking Christ, guys, just even if you're in, just the nicest place on earth, okay, lock your fucking doors at night. Make sure everything's fucking, locked up, because you never know who's going to be running through. That's just good fucking safety advice. So there you have, yeah, and in the wild, yeah, Dylan Mortensen right there. Then there's Xana, Bethany in blue, Kaylee, and then Madison on the end. Okay, cool. Just kids that are barely fucking 20. Christ almighty. Last Thursday in police affidavit. It's 18 pages long, and it's a bit of a fucking trip, okay, to be completely honest. It's wild. It's kind of harrowing, too. Head of alleged killer Bryan Kohberger's first court appearance in Moscow, Idaho. I don't know what I want to say, Indiana. It's way the fuck across. Revealed that Mortensen saw the murderer describing him as at least 5'10" tall, sporting a pair of bushy eyebrows. Yeah. Kohberger, 28, a PhD student at Washington State University, which sounds like it should be far away, but it's realistically 10 miles away from where he lived to where the murder happened. 10 miles. It's just across the state line. That's about it. Idaho is a death penalty state. Last time anybody was charged and convicted for a death penalty crime or set of crimes was about 40 years ago, and he's actually still alive. So, would this be something? It's interesting, right? Because of all of the sophisticated methods that led to this guy's arrest. This might have been an aspiring serial killer, because he did, other than leaving the sheath of his knife at the place that led to his ultimate arrest and a couple of cell phone pings that showed him stalking the area. Was this guy an aspiring serial killer? So would the death penalty really be needed? Because is this somebody that can be rehabilitated? He did kill 4 people, okay? And it would be hard to argue, given the real lack of connection, at least at the time of, of all the information being out there that we know so far, okay? Obviously, when trial comes around and the prosecution has more stuff that they can put out there. And same with the defense as well, because he's not guilty of anything yet. Everything's just been accused so far. Is this somebody who really deserves the death penalty? I know the emotional response to this is, yeah, there's so many young lives lost, but if he has a history, it's like, normally I'd reserve death penalty for exceptionally heinous crimes, but yeah, man, it would be interesting to see if he gets tried under the death penalty. I just don't know if it would apply in this situation. Anyways, in the affidavit, police described how Mortensen froze in fear on November 13th after spotting the killer. Yeah, after hearing throughout the house, because that's also detailed in the affidavit that she heard, I think it was Ellen who heard something to the effect of, it's okay, I'm here to help, in one of the other rooms after hearing a loud thud, theoretically, a couple of her roommates being killed at the time, and a dog going mental. But yeah, she opened up the door to see what the fuck was going on, and then allegedly Kohberger was walking past her room through the kitchen and then out the sliding doors, I guess, because that's the way that the footprint was going. It's wild. She had opened the door twice before, once after hearing Kaylee say someone was in the house, and again after a sound of crying came from Xana's bedroom. Yeah, that as well, okay? The teen told police she locked herself in the second floor bedroom after an encounter. By second floor, that's the exact same level that the sliding doors are on as well. There's a way that the house is built. The bottom floor goes out to the road, but the second floor goes out to the patio that's there that also has another road behind the house. It's interesting architecture. But yes, after the encounter with a killer who was wearing a ski mask at the time but didn't dial 911. Yeah, so why didn't she call 911? Now, I'm not going to posit any sort of, ill intent or anything like that. Not like she set it up or anything like that. I don't think this is some grand conspiracy, to be completely honest. I think that she was scared. She also knew that all of this stuff happened at, 4 o'clock in the morning, okay? 4 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. You're in a house with a bunch of other college people. You see somebody in the house. You don't hear anything outside of some muttering, couple of thuds, and a girl crying inside of a house where a bunch of other girls are. Is that really outside of the realm of normality, and there's somebody that you don't quite recognize inside the house? Would you immediately jump and see if there's anything wrong? You're 19 years old, okay, it's tough being in that position. Okay, if she would have called the cops and emergency services would have arrived at the time, would they have caught Kohberger at the scene? Probably not. He was already peeling out. And all of this stuff happened allegedly between 4 o'clock in the morning and 4:25 in the morning, okay? And Kohberger had been stalking the area for the better part of a month, so he knew exactly how to get the fuck out of there. So given the fact that he had nothing really distinguishing about his Hyundai Elantra, his white Hyundai Elantra, I know it's a white car, I think that's what it is. Would any of that ultimately end up mattering in the grand scheme of things? Not really. I guess that's maybe some information that could come out theoretically in the trial. Oh yeah, if anybody was called earlier, there might have been a possibility of somebody being saved, but I don't really think so. So trying to ascribe any sort of motive to the girls outside of maybe getting them to crack on the stand under cross-examination, yeah, I don't think you're going to find anything on this one. Okay, so trying to ponder on this topic and try to see it was clearly Dylan or Beth were in on this. You're barking up the wrong tree. That's my thoughts on this, okay? These were some college girls that were a little bit stunned about the situation, and, now they're going to be traumatized for life, okay? It's kind of sad. Police weren't called to the scene until 11:58 a.m., 7.5 hours and a good night's sleep after the students died. Funke is believed to have slipped through the attack on the ground floor, in her ground floor bedroom. Yeah, and if there wasn't a lot of noise being made, she's on the ground floor. Like I said, that goes out to the road, and the driveway was there as well. And living in a place where there's going to be a bunch of people coming in and out of it, okay, thuds and hushed tones isn't going to be that remarkable, really. So again, I don't have any motive. I don't have any reason to believe that they're involved in this. No conspiracy theories for me on this one. According to the affidavit, Mortensen said that she awoke around 4 a.m. by what sounded like Goncalves playing with her dog in the third floor bedroom. Yeah, the dog was kept in a separate bedroom, but, the dog was obviously going nuts because they knew something was fucking up, okay? A short time later, she heard Goncalves says, "There's someone here." The haunting affidavit reads, "It's kind of creepy." Okay, Mortensen looked out of her bedroom door and didn't see anything. The second time she opened up her door, she heard a male voice say something like, "It's okay, I'm gonna help you." Yo, man, that gives me the fucking creeps right now, okay? I couldn't imagine, okay, after somebody allegedly fucking takes out 4 other people inside the house, and then they're offering to help you. I don't know what the fuck you do. I don't know what you do in that situation. Especially, that's not me. I'm me, okay? I know what I'd do in that situation, but trying to put yourself in her shoes in the middle of the night, what the fuck do you do, okay? So, man, it fucking buck-ass wild, to be completely honest, man. Yeah, and there's the picture that's right there. So that's Dylan. There's Bethany right there. Those two are still alive. Xana, her boyfriend, obviously, they were up on the 3rd level. They were killed in the same room. That's the picture. I don't know. Do they have the picture of... No, they don't really, of the house there. At least one that I can describe from what I've seen right there. But yeah, man, it's fucking crazy. At 4:17 a.m., a neighbor's security camera picked up audio of what sounded like voices or a whimpering followed by a loud thud. Security camera from a house next door picked up all that shit. That's a W camera, I guess. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times. Mortensen stated she opened up her door for a 3rd time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and a nose walking towards her. Yeah, holy. Like, I've tried to think about this for a bunch of different reasons, okay? Like, if theoretically that's Kohberger and he's walking through the house trying to leave the place, okay? Now, if it's a dark room, if there's no lights on in the room at the time and that it's just, the door is just cracked open a little bit and she sees somebody walking through the place, you could understand her just, being iced out in the situation, just, what the fuck is got that, what? But if you're Kohberger, do you not notice that? Because, okay, lights were on in the rest of the house, okay? His eyes maybe were a little bit fucked up, and, maybe he was just in a trance, maybe he was just fixated on leaving the fucking place. And it's understandable because Bethany was on the bottom floor. Don't know if the FBI had cased the joint and seen if he was going downstairs or anything like that. Maybe the different times that Kohberger had cased the joint noticed that, not a lot of action happens downstairs. Mostly everybody's on 2nd and 3rd floors, so that's where he's going to go do his dirt. But even still, without, cell phone pinging his locations, DNA evidence of his sheath that he seemingly erroneously left on Xana and Gabriel's bed upstairs, he never, ever, ever would have been found if not for all of these relatively new techniques. Family of victim, Kaylee Goncalves, or Goncalves, something like that, have defended Mortensen's actions. Yeah, man, I really don't think that there's any motive that you can ascribe to this. Attorney Shannon Gray, who is representing the Goncalves family, said Mortensen was likely scared to death when she encountered the man. Yeah, because there's a multitude of different scenarios where you can figure out Mortensen's actions as well as Kohberger's. He's focused, okay, he's got an adrenaline rush. Okay, his eyes are just, wide as all hell from slitting a few different throats. Okay, he's just focused on fucking leaving the place. So he's not really paying attention to any other doors that could theoretically be opened. And if there's no lights on in the background, there's just a door cracked open just a little bit. Even if somebody's like face to face with you, okay, and your eyes are still just being blinded by going from, extreme brightness of a light in a room completely turned on to darkness walking through a house at 4 o'clock in the morning. Dylan might have been able to see him, but he would not have seen her at all whatsoever, especially if he's briefly or briskly walking through the place. So yeah. Or everybody was just, oh, fuck, I don't want to die, and he doesn't want to commit another murder, so everybody just, pretends like none of that shit happens, and then waits a few hours after to be like, that was a bad dream, I'm going back to bed. Or, of course, like, we don't know toxicology, we don't know if anybody was, fucked up or high in this situation, so thinking that maybe this was a bad dream, going to bed and then waking up in the morning, and then it's like, nope, everybody's actually dead, so I better make a phone call right now. So yeah, for the fact that the Goncalves family says that she was likely scared to death, insisted that she's still a victim in this case. Yeah, man, I think that's a fair and honest interpretation of events, and shout out for that family for, not trying to rope in somebody erroneously to this investigation, because there is legitimately nothing to really go on for roping her into this. The fact that she was able to give some additional identification, I say it's beneficial in the case. Yeah, somebody who's roughly 6 feet tall and has bushy eyebrows, not the best description, but given the fact that there's a multitude of other evidence being collected at the time, yeah, anything's helpful. She was able to give kind of the type of build and what the suspect looked like a little bit, bushy eyebrows, things along those lines. Yeah, 5'10", athletic but not muscular. Like, it fits the bill. It fits the bill so far, but outside of that, I don't know. Goncalves are the latest to defend Mortensen after the roommate of a woman who suffered a brutal 1992 attack said that she also had a delayed response during a similar scenario. Yeah, no, exactly. Frozen in fear. Okay, she was 20 at the time. Yeah, that all makes sense. Okay. Don't really need to corroborate that situation. It's just, it seems incredibly fucking likely. So yeah, I'd imagine there's going to be some more evidence probably circulated in the news the closer the trial comes up. Nothing has ultimately been scheduled. I know Kohberger's been remanded to custody. He hasn't waived his right to a speedy trial, but even still, given the fact that he has a speedy trial, the earliest it would be probably the summer, maybe the fall, but more than likely next year some point in time. So there's going to be a lot of evidence collected, a few more press releases put out there, but ultimately not going to revive anybody. So hopefully these families can find justice when it's all said and done, and these girls can hopefully move on with their lives, the two that survived this quite horrific situation, to be completely honest. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.